Our politically incorrect segment tonight, New York University has stopped a gay Donald Trump supporter from speaking to the campus's college Republicans group. This comes 2 weeks after a professor from the same college screamed at an NYPD officer for not beating up a conservative, or in her words, Nazi guest speaker Gavin McInnes. The university claims that the postponement of the speech this week is to ensure the safety of the students in light of recent protests, but it's hard to believe that they don't have an ulterior motive here. Joining me now, White House correspondent at the Gateway Pundit, Lucian Wintrich. Lucian, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Liz. I appreciate it. You look just as beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. That is so kind of you to say so. Lucian, tell me about yourself. First of all, you're gay, you're conservative, you support Donald Trump. You were set to give this speech at New York University this week when at the last moment it was postponed. Lucian, why was it postponed?
Well, you know, right now on these university campuses, we have these folks calling themselves Antifa or anti-fascists, and humorously enough, their actions and what they accomplish half the time is, by definition, fascism. So they basically made enough of a case that the NYU administration put me from a threat level green to a threat level orange.
I mean, that's...
and apparently if you...
It's flattering. Yeah. It's flattering in a certain sense if they consider you a threat enough to their liberal agenda in order to ban you from their campus. Are you drinking bourbon on my show?
You know, I'm trying to bring back the journalism of the 1950s where people drank bourbon and they actually reported.
Okay,
so,
okay.
This is half of my case.
I mean, it's a little rude.
You're doing a wonderful job, though. I do.
Thank you. It's a little rude not to offer to buy me a drink when you're drinking on your own, but I will look past it since we're in different cities this time. Lucian, the university claimed that there were threats made against their students because of you coming to speak on their campus. What kind of threats?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Based on the last experience that Gavin had, who's a friend of mine here in the city, somebody went as far as macing him in the face. Half of the listeners of his show were assaulted. One kid ended up bloody and in the hospital that evening. So I can only assume that they start off with these implied threats that, okay, this is a fascist, a gay fascist with a Colombian boyfriend somehow, who's coming to our university. So let's protest him. Let's try to impact the actual talk. And I mean, I don't consider myself, or Gavin, or Milo, to be honest, to be that objectionable. None of us have called for violence against these people. None of us have. I mean, essentially, a lot of what we do is we'll discuss statistics, we'll discuss political theory. It's relatively standard stuff. It is funny that in modern times, political theory and different perspectives have become so objectionable.
Right, and I mean, that doesn't sound controversial to me, although I haven't been to one of your shows, so I can't speak first-handedly about that. But let me ask you this, does the university ever cancel liberal speakers?
No, no. First of all, liberal speakers tend to be very, very boring. But that aside, no, I've not read a single case of a liberal speaker being canceled from any speaking arrangement at any university, and that is part of the sort of liberal framework that a lot of these universities have.
Right, and these people, of course, are college professors. Far be it from me to give them a suggestion that they haven't thought of. You know, they're smarter people than me, but why didn't they just bulk up law enforcement?
So that was NYU's purported reason for first canceling me and then delaying me. They said they need an entire month for some reason to put the correct security measures in place, which I don't know. I mean, I hope that when I show up there a month from now, there are tanks that are driving by my side and.
Right. Don't let this inflate. Don't let this inflate your ego too much. I mean, it sounds like they're gonna roll out the red carpet in a sense for you. But Lucian, talk to me about what you've done. Okay, so. You were the creator of Twinks for Trump during the campaign. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Twinks for Trump It was essentially a way of playing with the stereotypes that liberals have manufactured for conservatives. So for the most part, when Huffington Post, Salon, any of these like nonsensical publications are discussing conservatives, they'll characterize them as, oh, these obese Midwesterners who
Hey, I'm
never
from the
read
Midwest.
the news, who never read a paper. And well, I mean, you're write Huffington Post and Salon about it. I mean, they've actually, and I'm working for a Midwestern political publication now, and I have an incredible appreciation for the Midwest, and I know that the characterizations from the left are wildly inaccurate and laughable, and sort of my theory was that if okay, obviously the left applauds homosexuality, they applaud sort of nudity.
Right. They talk about the tolerance.
Models.
They talk about themselves being inclusive, being tolerant, being accepting, all these different things of anybody's identity, anybody's orientation. But it seems to me that they only want diversity, if you will, when it comes to actual image, actual appearance. It seems to me diversity of thought is something that is not included in their little tolerance scheme here.
I mean, that's absolutely true. So I mean, and that was basically, I think, proved by the Twinkster Trump series. So you have relatively well-known, by the way, New York models, half naked, two things liberals love, all homosexual, another thing they love. But like, my God, they were all wearing "Make America Great Again" hats, and they just couldn't stand that. And right after that series premiered at the RNC, all of a sudden, these people who had previously embraced me in the arts community in New York completely lashed out. All of my invitations to art events, to fashion events, all withered up. I will say, those do get boring after a while. A lot of people think these New York events are wonderful, but they get relatively formulaic. But I was actually honestly shocked that they didn't even see any humor in what they were doing, or to quote them, fascism in a lot of their actions.
Right, because that's what they accuse.
It was kind of laughable.
Right, that's what they accuse you of doing. They accuse you of being a fascist when the definition of fascism is shutting down free speech. Lucian, right now you're rescheduled at NYU for about a month from now. I want you to come back and visit us after that speech and tell us whether or not they have tanks lined up for your safety and security, because they should, because it's your free speech here that's under threat. I appreciate you coming on the show today. It was fun to talk to you.